Mermaids are the most magical beings on the planet. You tell me what other woman can show up in the middle of an ocean, drenched in soap, mascara still intact, with her body looking like half of a trout, and still have a boat full of sailors chasing the idea of her. All lining up to look at something that they were told doesn't even exist. A childish dream sunken at the bottom of a shipwrecked reality, praying for a glimpse of magic, a glance at the impossible, a chance to dream, a chance to breathe beyond the confines of their own lungs and breathe in the underbelly of the earth and remember how happy we were as children to be at the center of the world instead of trampling on top of it. As a child, I dreamed of becoming a mermaid, waking up with a cascade of light bouncing from each scale, hair, a kaleidoscope of iridescence, the water calling my name like a mother's tuck of hair behind my ears. But of course, as an adult, we are taught to stop believing in merfolk and sirens, because we all have to grow up eventually, right? Or we can harness our imaginations, like how I can research 100 different ways of how mermaids are actually real. Where do they come from? What kind of food do they eat? Do they have dope-ass pets like killer whales or a giant purple octopus that will pull a man apart if he don't come correct? What is the latest seashell couture? And I wonder, where do mermaids go to the bathroom? Are they just so free that they can rip it in the middle of a coral rug and nobody's tripping? Is it appropriate to play trap music at a catch and release recovery meeting? Did Erykah Badu learn how to cast love spells by listening to a siren sing? And most importantly, who was the first mermaid? Who turned her story into legend? Maybe I just wanted to be her. The mermaid without a name that made human beings search for something beyond land. The hope in the midst of rolling storms. The sparkle of a fin when the tsunami is rising in their throat. The beauty of stillness when the tide has washed away the best sandcastle you ever created. And then having the courage to rebuild it again. Maybe you can remember the first time you wanted to see magic so badly that you believed it into truth. Do you remember the first time you caught a glimpse of what made you whole? A glance at how you could make the impossible possible when you were a glimmer of stardust for someone caught in a midnight solitude. Do you remember waking up and seeing a single scale grow from your palm, or the broken heart that you mended from fishing line to make sure that someone else didn't drown in their blues? Do you know that that cascade of light turned into a legacy of starfish learning to swim instead of feeling abandoned at the bottom of the sea? How many people have you taught to swim against the current, to look for you when the world is too vast, too wide, the sky and ocean a tightrope too thin to balance? Why would you ever stop believing in mermaids when you are the indigo that everyone has been dreaming to find? Do you remember who first saw you? Did they keep you awake long enough to know that the rest have been sleeping on you? Did they tell you that your shadows are only one-dimensional? Do you know that our bodies only keep 1/3 of oxygen that you breathe in, and that we were made to give 2/3 of an exhale away and still survive? Is that not magic? To give more than what we receive and still be alive? To still have the energy to dream? To exchange air for others to pay forward? Does it matter if they know your name or title or position? When you can name the first moment that you snagged in tension like a flailing swordfish, like a life raft that you built from the wreckage, like a 9th grade teacher that showed you how to dive between the lines of a composition book and compose your scribble into symphony, like the first time that you unplugged your voice from the drowning silence and you trembled from the quiet of others finally listening. Do you know that even when you show up drenched in salty tears, uncomfortable, exhausted, and looking like a fish out of water, that the world will still chase the dream in you? So when they believing in mermaids and myths. Hell, you look them dead in the eye and you let them know that your magic is the truth. Thank you guys so much.